I've been speaking to a few colleagues of mine who were women in business, and I was curious to hear them saying things like, well, my coach wants me to dot, 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 or my coach thinks I should, or my coach give me a deadline. And I realized that that would make sense if we didn't think that we had the answers within us. If we didn't think that we had the know-how or the knowledge or the wherewithal to even figure things out on our own. And to tell you the truth, I did that for a long time myself. I signed up for some very high ticket coaching programs because I thought the coach I was going to be working with had the answers. They had the systems, the processes. Look at her, look at him. They were very successful. And I thought if somehow I could replicate or copy their steps to success, if you want to call it that somehow I would create my own successful business. Well, I failed miserably. And I didn't really understand why until a while ago. You see, when somebody has an inkling about something or a sense of something, that's really their own creation. Whatever they come up with is essentially meant for them because of their personalities, their skill set, their knowledge, their passions, their interests. So their process is really unique to them. And not understanding that, they think, well, look at this has been brilliant for me. I've been so successful. I'm going to go and I'm going to teach this very same thing to other people so they can be successful too. Well, I bought into that and I thought that their steps and processes would help me to be successful. And what happened actually is that I struggled. I found it difficult to implement what they did and when they did it and how they did it. And so not only was I not doing well with these big expensive courses, I thought I was the problem. I thought I was even more of a failure than I was before I signed up for the program and thought it was going to help me be successful. But a few years ago, I was introduced to an understanding essentially how we are created, like the brilliance behind our engineering, if you want to call it that. And what I learned essentially is we all have our own kind of, you might call it this innate genius or this innate, I like to call it our AI, our own personal AI, our authentic intelligence. Like we have this deeper knowing, this deeper intelligence that comes through us, that's meant for us. It's a match for us. It's going to help us be successful. And when I saw this, I realized that I could claim my own personal agency. I could I could claim my own authority for my business and my life because I didn't have to ask other people how they did it. I could check in with myself and be guided, informed, inspired in a way that had things feel more enjoyable, more effortless, um, more. I felt more creative, more. I was willing to take more risks because if something comes through us, then we kind of own it. It feels like it's already part of us, and we might be willing to kind of step outside of our comfort zone or do something others don't understand or don't agree with or think that we're nuts doing that. But there's something so empowering about having this inner sense of what's the direction to go or the thing to do now or the decisions that we're ultimately making moment to moment in our lives and our businesses. There's something so empowering about kind of having that knowing that like you're on the right track, you know what to do. And yes, not everything works out perfectly. We try things, they don't work. We try them again, we learn in the process. But I saw that we call this through this understanding, we call this inner intelligence, this deep intelligence, we call it wisdom. So it's not the wisdom that we accumulate or acquire over time through our education, through experience, building our expertise. It's that deep inner intelligence that we're actually born with. So it's very practical, it's very common sense, but it's also the source of our creativity, our fresh new ideas, our innovative solutions to things that we think are problematic. And and so when we start to see that we have this going for us, our own internal authentic intelligence, I just feel so much more confident, more grounded, more present. And so that makes me more available to other people. Um, and I feel more connected to other people. People feel more connected to me because I don't have that overthinking, insecure thinking, wondering, strategizing going on all the time that kind of keeps me in my head and keeps me out of the present moment. So I titled my course Wisdom in Action Academy because there's a big learning component. You're going to learn basically how life operates, kind of the brilliance behind your engineering, if you will, how your mind works, how you perceive reality, um, where what emotions are for. Emotions are basically just part of a very highly tuned feedback mechanism that lets us know how we're using the power of thought and the power of our creativity. And so the idea of having the 6-month program and having three conversations each month is that you get to see a little bit more and a little bit more, because it's not about information, it's about insight. Because information is helpful if we want to learn a skill, or we need directions or something. But when we really want to transform who we're being in the world, it's like it takes time to have those little aha moments, those little light bulb moments, like, oh, that's how that works. Like, oh, that's what happens with that. And so as you see more and more, you start to be more kind of in tuned or more aligned with this deeper intelligence that we all have, that now starts to be recognizable, trustworthy, something that you'll take a stake on and act on. And so the wisdom in action is not only that we have this inner wisdom and this inner knowing, but we can act on it, because it brings with it that confidence and that certainty and that willingness to take action. So I've been looking at this understanding for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's really made a huge difference for me in my life. I've been an entrepreneur for most of my 3.5 careers. And to tell you the truth, I still might get a little insecure and wobble. But when that happens, it doesn't take me out. I don't get so freaked out that, oh my goodness, like I'll never figure this out, or I'm a loser or whatever. I just know that that's temporary, insecure thinking, and all thinking comes and goes. It's transient, it's temporary. And so when I go into that place where maybe I kind of lose my confidence or lose my way, I just know that it's temporary and I'm going to come back to being present, to being grounded. And it's interesting, going back to this idea that coaches are going to tell you what to do. I took my coaching training over 20 years ago. And this was um, before coaching sort of became more, I guess, more integrated, if you want to call it that, because now we've got consultants calling themselves coaches and experts calling themselves coaches. And yes, they do have valuable information to offer to their clients or the corporations they work with. But I always understood from the very beginning that real personal transformational coaching is about helping the client access their own wisdom. So not only access your knowledge, your skills, and apply that more effectively, but also to access this deeper guidance, um, this deeper knowing that supports us, it guides us, it inspires us, it just really helps us to light up in life, because it is part of our spirit, it's part of our life force, and it's there to support us in being successful and to have that sustainability, so we don't become exhausted and burnt out, and so we continue to grow and build our businesses and have that sense of joy and well-being. So it just gives us so much more richness in our lives and so much potential to do well in our businesses, and so much happiness that we have this insider information, knowing how life works, how we operate, where our experience comes from, what emotions are all about, and this deeper trust in ourselves, so we can have our own agency. Because as we grow our businesses, like, we have to have the confidence to make those decisions, to, to set that course, to go in that direction. So I hope you'll join me. This is something I've been looking forward to for a long time, to share this information, to share this understanding, and how much has transformed my life. And I know it will transform yours. If you have any questions, I'm happy to chat.